deep backward. It's interesting to see. He just moved the field around at a deep backward point, and now he comes and bowls straight. And he made sure that Bennett noticed that he was moving the field. Possibly a ploy to fool Bennett that he might be coming in and bowling short and wide. And he goes straight with his delivery.
I think that's the length to bowl at both Marumani and Bennett. You want a good length, tending to be full. Somewhere around there, make them work for their runs as he tries the little side footer for the run out. Really good awareness from all players. Marumani and Bennett, quick call. JJ Smith just sees the opportunity and runs down. And the end of a good over. Just 6 runs from that one. Zimbabwe 18 for none. Just talking about the recently completed national.
Angel One app is built for traders. Open free Demat account today.
Investments in 45 overs per side. And then Hassan Ali Akil was in second place. 628 runs, 150 runs behind. Brian Shari of Amakosi was
power play being finished here, Tina. I think Zimbabwe will be happy with their position. Having not lost any wickets. It's all for Erasmus now to do some thinking, to do some strategizing. But Romani, 31 of 27, and Bennett, 10 of 9. You can't help but see and notice that those couple of boundaries have just brought a lot of flair to Romani. And just outside the power play, field is spread. It's the introduction of Nicole Lofty-Eaton.
So sweeper square offside, as well as leg just behind square on the leg side, deep mid wicket, long on, long off. You'd want to get that long on, long off as straight as possible because Bennett strikes the ball so well straight over the bowler's head. Missing the leg stump.
It's good shots here from Namibia, but I think it's just sending a message across. Pitch this time. It'll fall safe and they'll pick up a single.
It would have been interesting to think what would Zimbabwe have said to themselves as what they feel is a competitive total on this pitch, and would it have remained the same the way they've seen the pitch play in these first 6 overs?
I think there will be a lot of talk and readjustments, especially after such a positive power play. Wickets in hand. I think to start off, Zimbabwe would have been happy having set their targets to 140, 150 after the first 3 overs. But after such an explosive end to the power play, they'll be targeting possibly 160.
That's sliding down the leg side again. It's not a shot that you see Brian Bennett play often, a sweep shot, and you can see the way he's tried to play that one looked a little bit uncomfortable. Didn't manage to extend the arms to get the connection as far away from the body as possible. Wide of long off. And we'll just get one.
Yannick Lofty-Eaton on a hunt here.
Shot. That is dispatched by Marumani. 2 full. Gets right underneath that one. Clears the boundary at long on with ease.
I think just slightly too full here from Lofty-Eaton. And it's 52 for none. 7 overs done. What a way to finish it off for Marumani.
He's coming off a half century against Sri Lanka in the final game of that T20 International Series about a week ago, so he's full of confidence. It was his 4th T20 International, his first against a full member. And you can see 37 from 29 now. It's moved along quite nicely, Marumani.
Barrett scores the ball the 8th. Recently received his accolade as the best bowler in associate cricket. wider to start off with. They come back easily for a second one. Romani Bennett just done so well in setting a platform here for Zimbabwe. You can see it's all smiles, Bell and Sikanda.
Run a ball 15 from 15 for Brian Bennett. Very uncharacteristic of him in this format of the game, but there's one thing that he does well, always looks to catch up. When you talk to him, he quite often says, you've got a lot more time even in a T20 than you think. So when he's not able to get out the blocks, he still understands that he's got the opportunity to bat longer, which he needs to do, because he's taken a few balls to get going and then needs to capitalize.
Yeah, it looks to be smooth sails from here onwards for Marumani. He's just assumed a bit more control now in his innings. That is well played.
Yeah, happy to rotate the strike. Give the strike to the man who's in good form. Brian Bennett, and striking the ball well. Has the realization that today I haven't got going, not yet, but my partner has. So allow him to do the damage, allow him to take control of the partnership, which is 58 now, with the ball to go in the 8th over. Back over the bowler's head. Exactly what I was referring to. Bennett very good to the spinners in that area. Brings to an end the 8th over, 62 for none.
The trumpets and the drums. It's going to be a really good morning right at Queen Sports Club. Eight done, 62 for Nolos. But Erasmus stays to Forshank.
Alex Volshank, former under 19 captain for Namibia, captained them at the 2024 under 19 World Cup in South Africa. He gets an opportunity with the ball.
You had the opportunity to watch him a couple of days ago in a warm-up match or an inter-squad match in Windhoek, Namibia. He's bowling really well. Also quite decent with the bat. And he's bowling off a shortish run-up. A bit of chatter there between Erasmus and I know Chubby.
Oh, he's missed out. He's missed out there, Marumani. Probably a bit of extra bounce. Probably a bit of extra bounce.
Bowling from a shortish run-up, full shank. Just looking to hit lines and length. And that's the line you want to be bowling. To Marumani. Just a touch off outside off stump. Just a touch off outside off stump. Yeah, you pick up a single. Easy pickings here for Marumani and Bennett.
ब्रेकिंग न्यूज मिंत्रा बीएसएफ सेल पे है ट्रिपल डिस्काउंट तो सिर्फ देखो मत विश लिस्ट करो
It's always interesting to watch Brian Bennett and how he goes about his batting. It's technically a lot different from your normal or from your usual opening batters. Not normal. Relies a lot on his ends. Very little to no feet movement majority of the time.
Yeah, he's got great hand-eye coordination. Brian Bennett. Crunched away by Marumani. Missed out on width earlier on in the over. This time, gets it away.
That's another welcome boundary here for Zimbabwe. Full shank. He's been plying on those lines for quite a long time now. And Marumani has missed out on a few chances, but on this occasion, he delivers. Moves on to 44 from 34 deliveries. And 2 more to go in this over.
That's up in the air. It's over mid-off. One bounce into the boundary. So Marumani just picks up the scoring right now.
That's good going here for Marumani. No, a good over here for Zimbabwe. 10 runs coming off it. 9 done. 7-2 for no loss. You know, this is a great platform for Orion Sikandaraza to come and bat in.
It is indeed, and I'm just looking at the men to come. Brendan Taylor due in at 3. Dion Myers originally due in at 4. You still have Raza. You've got Ryan Burl, and you just see Zimbabwe picking up the scoring rate up at 8 now. And you just wonder, is that batting lineup going to stay the same? Just 10 overs to go. You want to maximize as much as possible. You can see a couple of shifts in that batting lineup for sure, I think, from a Zimbabwean point of view. Over number 10, short. Bennett pulls. Has he got enough on it? Has he got enough? Yes, he does. Just enough.
That's a good start here to the 10th for Zimbabwe. And Bennett decides to join the party. The party that Marumani started. Not fully himself here, Bernard scolds. Just causing all sorts of trouble a couple of weeks ago in Canada. Yeah, Marumani hits that really well.
It's half century number 5 for Marumani. And T20 international cricket back-to-back half centuries in this format. And this young man just starting to find his form.
Yeah, they'll pick up a second one. And Marumani Bennett have found themselves now. One more to go in this over. Marumani feels he's missed out on that last delivery. It's 10 done, it's 83 for Nolos, and then time for some change in the box.
The brass band is becoming a feature of cricket in Zimbabwe. Whenever the chevrons are playing, they bring a little bit of atmosphere on the here at Queen's Sports Club this afternoon. Eli, already we're seeing quite a few people in the ground this morning. We're seeing a few cooler boxes as well.
Yeah, fantastic morning it is right here in the city of kings and queens. And speaking of royalty, kings and queens, they don't have to wake up quite early going anywhere. They've got servants that are serving them or doing duties on their behalf. It's been a fine morning, great outing, and it's good to see the band also up and about in song.
Well, that's wonderful from Brian Bennett. He's forced that away off the back foot, and he gets a boundary early in this over. Coming out of the power play, I think Namibia would have been really happy with the way that things had gone. For at least the first 5 overs, they'd really kept a lid on Bennett and Marumani. But since then, Marumani's really cut loose. And then Brian Bennett's just played a blinder. Absolute beauty of a back foot drive. And this time it's the running between the wickets, keeps the pressure on Namibia.
Finds an inside edge. Captain bringing himself into the attack, hoping that he might just have a delivery, and we'll just get them one. As you know, one gives you two, and all of a sudden you're back at this encounter. But Zimbabwe have done very, very well. You can't take that away from them at the moment.
What he's done to very different bowling styles. To Marumani, it's full into the pads or full very wide outside the line of off stump, just giving him a single. And then to Bennett, it's quicker and flatter into the wicket. A single. Not allowing him to go downtown, but this one finds the outside edge. It's taken 3 overs for Zimbabwe to find a boundary in this little spell of very good bowling from Gerard Erasmus.
Yeah, not really from the middle of the bat. Thickish outside edge, and it brings a few smiles from the Zimbabwean bench out there.
Interesting to see Skandaraza padded up. And again, it's the shorter delivery go to for Erasmus, and this time Bennett's able to come back for 2. And that brings up, I thought it was his 50. Brings up his 50. He's been outstanding. It's been a good partnership for the Zimbabwean openers.
Yeah, 112th opening partnership between Brian Bennett and Tadiona Shimarumani. Bennett gets a standing ovation from his skipper. This is the ideal start and the ideal situation that even the captain himself would love to step into the scene if called on.
Looking for the reverse sweep, but it is gone through Zane Green for buys. He set himself up to smash that over short third man inside the circle. Two boundaries for Zimbabwe in this Erasmus over. Brian Bennett has 3 international hundreds. Need to get one in this format. Would ideally like to do that. And oh no, helped with some poor fielding. 3 boundaries in that over.
That's the harshness of T20 cricket. You have to be on your toes. You have to have your wits about it. And a slight loss of concentration can result in such errors.
He's developed his game where sometimes that gets him into trouble. He's figured out when not to bat instinctively, which is all good signs for Zimbabwe.
Cracked away. And that'll take some stopping. That'll be four. A good piece of timing from Ryan Pearl, really getting into his work and the job that has been asked of him. And he goes right on top of that one.
It's taken him 3 balls to find his first boundary. One of the more experienced players for Zimbabwe in this lineup. Most experienced is Sikandar Raza. And then second most experienced is Ryan Pearl. And then the 2 big fast bowlers, Zarabani and Garava, have played roughly the same number of T20s. So very good to see the return of Wellington Masakadza. For 15 overs gone. 131 for 1.
Very relaxed.
स्मार्ट इन्वेस्टिंग का असली पार्टनर आज ही अपना मुफ्त डिमैट अकाउंट खोलें।
Investments.
Yeah, really asserting himself here. Gets on top of that one. Set up nicely for a set better and gets the maximum reward.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier on. The need for Brian Bennett just to realize that he's taking his time to get going, yes, but the opportunity to score will come, and he needs to maximize on that and catch up, which he has. 64 and 37 now.
Oh, smart cricket, opening the face of the bat. And just looking to run that down to man at deep point. Strike rotation, it's key. Get a boundary. And you get off strike. And Tinos, we welcome you to the box, but what a start for Zimbabwe in this first T20. Brilliant open partnership that they had between Marumani and Brian Bennett.
It was indeed, and I think especially after just taking time early on to assess the conditions, see how the pitch was playing. And I did mention it in an earlier stint that the ball probably didn't quite come onto the bat as much as Zimbabwe would have liked. Hence the reason to bowl first from Namibia, not quite sure what to expect. But after that power play, when they had gauge conditions, I thought they've been particularly good in how they've gone about picking up the scoring rates and making sure that that run rate just increases, just below 9 at the moment.
Goes for the ramp shot. Does it well. Not enough to get it through to the boundary. And they should get a couple here. Yeah, playing some audacious shots. And why not? You have a half century on your name. T20, that's vitally important start. So you have the liberty to play any shots that come to mind. So you have the liberty to play any shots that
Nice to see
come to
some sprinklings of spectators in the crowd. It is a Monday morning. Just gone 20 minutes to 11. So you won't expect too many people coming in this early.
Smashed away. Oh, good save. Really just pushing it back into the field. But the running also by Zimbabwe has been good. They pick up 2 valuable runs.
Good teamwork. the mid-wicket boundary from Namibia. Just a reminder as we talk about the crowds and coming in that the next two T20 internationals, tomorrow and Thursday, will be a 1:30 start as opposed to 9:30 as today.
Up in the air. And the wind will carry it over the boundary. That'll be another maximum. He might not have timed it well, but the power behind that shot, aided with the wind blowing in his favour, gets him over the boundary for 6. The 16th over, Zimbabwe, 149 for 1. Distant neighbours, Namibia. Change of willow for Brian Bennett. Just looking at where Zimbabwe are, 149 for the loss of 1. The average first innings score here at Queen's Sports Club when you're betting first is 149. Well, Zimbabwe, they have done well so far. They've reached that, and they still is 4 overs remaining in the innings. Straight. Time to perfection and onto the rooftop. Ryan Bell in action here.
Beautifully timed by Ryan Bell. Slightly too full. From Volshenk. Slightly too full. And I think the Zimbabweans have realized once that ball is quite full, whether it's the spinner or the seamer, if you hit through the line of the ball, you're going to get great success, and that's exactly what he's done.
Now, Zimbabwe's plan just to change up their batting order seems to be working well. They've brought Ryan Bell up the order just for this particular reason. And he has gleefully accepted the opportunity because when things are going your way in such manner, you really want to maximize the opportunity to get as many runs as possible. And also, this is change of strategy in Zimbabwe's batting order, just to try out new things and see how they work out. So far, they're working well. Just to try out new things and see how they work out. So, offside. That'll be another boundary. And this time with an offer, just outside off stump, to fall again, and smashed away by Ryan Bell.
It's not often you see Ryan Bell exploit the offside extra cover region, but I'll tell you what, he has absolutely crunched this. Volshenk's found the going tough. He's got the wicket, but 27 and 2.2 overs.
Again, oh, almost a blinder of a catch. And it'll be 6 runs to Ryan Bell, who's motoring here. There's been boundary after boundary from the bat of Ryan Bell.
Good move from the Zimbabwean technical side to elevate Ryan Bell up the order. We discussed whether it would be a move that they would take, and it's one that's worked quite nicely for them now. 22 and 8, Ryan Bell, and still plenty of time, 3.5 overs. 21 balls until the close of the innings.
It's taken Ryan Bell just 8 deliveries to get to a well-made 22. This just shows you, like Tino, you mentioned earlier on, how good a batting surface as the day goes by Queen's Sports Club is. in the air. Taken this time. Just went for one too many big shots. And this time he's got out there in that cow corner region. But you would say that the damage has been done. It's been a great cameo of 22 of 8 for Ryan Burl.
This time he picks the man. Doesn't quite hit the ball as well as he would have liked, Ryan Bull. Face closes on points of contact. And that's where he's taken away that little bit of elevation. The same combination that got the first wicket. Volshank and Lofty Eaton get the second. Zimbabwe 165 for 2.
In that top 7, so
Zimbabwe captain steps into the crease, and it'll be Sikandar Raza. He comes in at a time where his team is well set, 165 runs on the board, and plenty of deliveries in T20 still left in this Zimbabwean innings. He's also one of Zimbabwe's pinch hitters. He's in great form in a brilliant series against Sri Lanka. Thrives in such situations. What will you make of this one? Because at the current projected score, Zimbabwe have a possible target of getting to 200. It's there, it's possible. Off the mark of the first delivery. Pushing harder, they're looking for 2. Yeah, great piece of running between Brian Bennett and Sikandar Raza. Something that has been synonymous with Zimbabwe, not only in this particular encounter, but in all matches that they have played in recent time. I'm talking of Sri Lanka, South Africa and New Zealand. They've been working hard and seeing some dividends of that hard work. Again, works the leg side. Boundaries are long, so need to be really on your toes. You have the liberty just to play it with soft hands into vacant gaps, and you can pick up a couple of runs. End of the 17th over, and Zimbabwe 169 for the loss of 2. Seventeenth over, the one that just concluded. Despite losing a wicket, Zimbabwe, it's their best over, picking up 20 runs in that particular over. So definitely the message is to accelerate the scoring for Zimbabwe. Those are their intentions, and they have showed them pretty well at the start here. JJ Smith into his third over. It's good bowling, pushing it just wide of Brian Bennett. But however, gets contact in those deep pockets and they pick up 2.
Just less of 3 overs to go in the Zimbabwean innings. The captains walked out there, Sikandar Raza. And they'll be looking now, 210 at least. If they have a very good finish to the innings, 215 plus.
Let's work through the offside again. It's a deep pocket. They'll comfortably come back for another couple. abandon song. Gentlemen who have taken the nod to be at every game that Zimbabwe plays. And looking to access the leg side. Came off the toe end of the bat, really not timing that one. That's Brian Bennett. Speaking of 200 plus, Tino Mohoyo. And if you're in Namibia's shoes, what do you need to do just to try and restrict the run flow here?
Yeah, he's gone length and he's got away with it on this occasion, going across Sikandaraza, the new man at the crease. I don't think that's the length you want to be bowling to a Brian Bennett, who's been in for a while.
Again, it's a slower delivery, but still too much for the umpire's liking. Despite Sikandaraza walking across his stumps, he just pushed it a little bit further outside his off stump. That's why it was signaled as a wide. It's worked away for a single leg side. 200 would be the projected score for Zimbabwe at the current rate of just 10 and over. Tino, as an open better, I'll pick your brains in the next over because this has been explosive from Zimbabwe. Gone straight. Really timed it very well, but he'll pick up a single to end the 18th over. So it'll be 12 deliveries to go from here going forward. 18 overs done, Zimbabwe 179 for the loss of 2. Yeah, coming to the question that I wanted to ask earlier, Tino. Zimbabwe started off quite slowly. What's been key for them to change gears to get to 179 and also with around 8 wickets remaining? What's been ideal?
Well, wickets in hand is one. And I mentioned earlier the fact that the two opening batters, Bennett in particular, and Tadiwa Nashimaramani, just took their time early on to gauge how the surface was going to play. And once they realized that anything full, you can hit through the line and get maximum results, they started to do that. I think they've run through between the wickets very well as well, in between. Huge boundaries either side here at the Queen Sports Club. So once you get the ball slightly wide of a sweeper, you've got the opportunity to come back for 2. So good running between the wickets. And then, of course, that quick fire 22 from Ryan Burl that you see there at 240 has really set them up for where they are now, but they still need a good finish.
And looking to go straight, like you just mentioned. Looking to play it as straight as ever. They pick up a single. But as much as you say that, you know, but one thing that I know that you will really attest to, the manner in which Zimbabwe have played, and the ability to brush off the losses that they've had in recent times and still come out and play positive cricket. That has been one of the things to really applaud for Zimbabwe. Finds thank you to come out and play freely, and freely they do. They're getting runs.
Nicely done by Sikandaraza this, because he knows that the third man is wider there, so he's still fine of third himself. Take a look at this. There. Just opens the face to find the gap. So deft touch from Raza. I'll come come to your point now, Eli. Struck firmly. Either side of Lofty Eaton, he could have got himself another boundary. Yeah, you cannot run away from the fact that it's been a very tough winter for Zimbabwe. Lots of cricket against top teams in the world. But even when you look back at that T20 international tri-series with New Zealand and South Africa, they played good cricket in periods. And they just haven't been able to be consistent throughout the innings to ensure that they put together an innings of 190. And when they've got the team on the ropes bowling first, if they have a tight power play, they release the pressure at some stage of the innings, and good teams will punish you for that. And that's what happened against South Africa and New Zealand. Much better showing in both white ball series against Sri Lanka more recently. Long off was up in the circle, so he'll get 4. But in the same instance, still some opportunities for them to put matches away, which they didn't manage to do. The most glaring on that final T20 international, 192 if I'm correct on the board, I think, and Sri Lanka managed to do that in the 18th over. If you've got 190 runs on the board and you're losing the game, you ought to be doing that in the final ball of the chase or in the final over, not with 12 plus balls remaining. So that's a concern as well. But as you say, the manner in which they're playing their cricket, the confidence is up there for all to see. That's got to be 6. That's got to be 6. It's a huge boundary down to those trees in the big screen, but Bennett clears it with ease. Approaches 100.
No, that's a magnificent shot from Brian Bennett. Really up in the slot, hitting it against the wind, but didn't matter. He had enough the power behind that to get it all the way into those fig trees. Magnificent shot. Making here, moves on to 94, Brian Bennett. One maximum away from those 3 figures.
I've been trying to find out for many years what those trees are. Fig trees, are they?
Yes, Tito.
Pretty sure you've been under there picking several over the years, Eli.
Oh, they make a beautiful canop, especially along that grass bank. No matter where you're looking at Queen Sports Club, whether it's an aerial view or a side view, a magnificent shot. Brian Bennett, 1 hit away. It goes. So 6 still remaining to go here. Over to finish Zimbabwe's innings. Sikandar Raza on strike. Goes through the offside.
Great bit of fielding. So Raza will retain strike in this final over. And Namibia to the left. young, aspiring Zimbabwean cricketer. Bucket loads of runs domestically over the last 3 or 4 seasons, as well as when he turns out for the A side.
Now going across the stumps, Sikandaraza trying to play straight, finds the inside edge. Just be one, and his new batting partner out there will be Tshingam Sekiwa. Yeah, plenty of scattered spectators around. Some more players that have been active in the much recently ended NPL. 2 sides that represented this province, Amakosi 1 and 2, as well as Queen's Sports Club. So those players also, we're seeing them here. And lucky to get off the mark, and that's just too wide for him to get any wheeler on that. Tashingam Sekiwa had a marvelous series versus Sri Lanka. I love the way that he has reinvented himself as a power hitter. We really see him doing much of that. But he's also a magnificent bowler, but as a finisher, he's just roll and has done pretty well in it. Down the track, it's a deep pocket. And they're looking for 2. No, they'll settle for 1. Zimbabwe now, well, pushing past that 200 mark. That'll be wide. Three deliveries remaining. Tino, how many more would Zimbabwe be comfortable getting here?
Yeah, well, they'll want another couple of boundaries. Here's one of them for Sikandaraza. They approach that 200 mark. If they can get another, they get past there, and I think they'll be quite happy with that score.
Well, the man that they would want on strike, Sikandaraza, to get to 200 is on strike. And look at how he picked that one. Yeah, it was bold stump to stump, but just a little bit too full. And all he had to do was just to pick a spot, and boy, did he pick one beautifully. And working it leg side on that square leg boundary. A slower delivery. Disappointed with himself there, Sikandaraza, because really it would have been ideal. Zimbabwe have breached the 200 mark. Apologise for the graphics there, it misled us a bit, but Zimbabwe well past 200, down 204, with one more delivery to go here. A bit of instructions from the captain. Well, the last delivery of the Zimbabwean innings. Leg side, that'll be wide. Zimbabwe will accept that. Plenty of extras in this final over, 4 of them. And it's been a very good over for Zimbabwe. 12 runs off it, delivery to go.